Olá, Lígia, bom dia.
Olá, Rocio, bom dia. Bom dia a todos, bem-vindos a mais esse webinar organizado pela EBSCO com colaboração da Cambridge. Eu quero agradecer imenso a vossa participação hoje aqui. Eu sei que é véspera de São João, quase feriado em alguns lugares de Portugal, então agradeço muito a presença e a disponibilidade hoje. Como bem disse a minha colega Rocio, a apresentação vai ser gravada, nós vamos passar os links, mas também vai ser em inglês, ok? Neste caso, a Ana e o Juan não falam português, então essa apresentação vai ser em inglês e, claro, no final da apresentação a gente vai dar espaço para perguntas e responderemos, tá? As perguntas vão ser através do chat. A apresentação deve durar uma meia horinha, uns 25 minutos, 30 minutos, não vamos ser muito pesados com a apresentação, e a ideia é que vocês participem, que a gente possa tirar as dúvidas e consultas e o que for necessário, para isso estamos, tá bom? Hello, Ana, Juan. Firstly, I would like to thank you very much for your availability and initiative to this webinar, today. Well, I know you're going to tell us your amazing read and publish project for Cambridge. And Anna, if you want to introduce yourself before starting, and Juan, I will the floor to you. And then we can start the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. So my name is Anna Montecourse. I'm Head of European Library Sales, and I will be doing the presentation for you today.
Yes. My name is Juan Burriel. I am the Senior Sales Executive for Iberia, for Spain and Portugal. And even I don't speak Portuguese, sorry, but I speak, as you say, Portuñol. So I've been traveling to Portugal for many years, so I can understand Portuguese, and I speak English and Spanish, of course. So, muito obrigado por atender a la sesión del webinar.
Okay, so I'll start. Okay, so I will cover, I'll give you a brief overview of open access, and then our position on open access, and of course the read and publish offer from Cambridge. And then we'll have questions and answers at the end. Okay, the overview of open access. So there are two main types of open access. You have gold open access and green open access. And the differences are listed here. So for gold open access, there is a fee. It's an article processing charge, or APC it's also called. For green open access, there's no fee. And the reason for this is that green open access have got restrictions, whereas with gold open access, there aren't really any restrictions. For gold open access, it is the version of record, and that is the published version, that is open access, and it's immediate access. So straight upon publication, it's available. For green open access, this varies from different publishers. With Cambridge, it's the accepted manuscript that the author can put in a repository. And the accepted manuscript, that is before typesetting and copy editing. For the use, for gold open access, the author decides which CC BY license they use. For green open access, the author has the right to use articles for a range of purposes. And of course, for gold open access, this can be published in hybrid journals. So a hybrid journal is a journal that will have part of the articles open access and part of it non-open access. And with green open access, with Cambridge at least, all of our journals adhere to green open access. So we have different flavors of open access, gold OA, hybrid, diamond OA, and journals that are non-OA. What they have in common is that all of them are peer-reviewed. For gold OA, everything that's published in a gold OA journal is open access, and the author or the institution has to pay an APC, an article processing charge. And there's no subscription fee. A hybrid journal, as I mentioned, that will have a mixture. So part of the content will be open access, part of it will be non-open access. So hybrid journals, there will be a subscription fee for those journals. And if the author wants to publish open access, the author or the institution will have to pay an APC. Diamond OA, and we have maybe 1-2 journals that are Diamond OA. This has got separate funding. So usually it'll be a society or somebody else. They fund the journal. So there's no APC and there's no subscription charge. And then we have some journals that are non-OA. So that means they do not allow open access. So there's no fee to pay, but there is a subscription charge for those journals. So what are the benefits then of publishing open access? Well, OA articles get more exposure. They are downloaded 3 times more than non-OA articles. They receive 30 to 50% more citations. They reach a wider audience because, of course, they are freely available online globally. And this is just to show an overview of our publishing workflow. So all articles, no matter whether they are open access or not, they all go through the same rigorous peer review. And the decision for us, whether we publish the article or not, is not dependent on whether it's open access or not. And the only step that's different for open access is the transaction process. Otherwise, the process is exactly the same whether you publish open access or not. Okay, so I'll talk about our position on open access. So our mission is to advance learning, research, and knowledge worldwide. And we see open research as a way to achieve this mission. So what does that mean then? What are we actually doing? So we are committed to become a full open access publisher. And there are 2 paths that we are following to become an open access publisher. The main one is through our read and publish agreements. And the other one is the transformative journals program. We also invest in services like Cambridge Open Engage. This is an early research platform. So the Transformative Journals program that offers a Plan S compliant publishing route for authors that are not covered by a read and publish agreement. And we have submitted just over half of our journals to Coalition S to request transformative journal status. And this means that these journals are then committed to flip to wholly open access in a few years' time. And the other route then, as I mentioned, is read and publish agreements. So here you'll see a map and of all the agreements we have across the world. So as of today, we have read and publish agreements with over 1,000 institutions across the world. The very first agreement, read and publish agreement we had was in the Netherlands, followed by Sweden and Germany. We have an agreement with JISC in England that covers most of the English institutions. And also this year, we have over 130 agreements in the US. Last year, we had the first read and publish agreement in Spain with CSIC, the Spanish National Research Council. And this year, we have read and publish agreements with all the Spanish institutions that take a collection with us. So our vision then is to move to open access, as I mentioned, by 2025. So the aim is then that 75% of our content will be open access by 2025. And you can see here how quickly it changes. So in 2018, 10% of our content was open access, and that doubled then. So in 2020, 20% of the content is open access. And it's worth mentioning, so we have over 400 journals, and most of our journals are society-owned journals. So we're society publishers, 60 to 65% are owned by societies. So our own journals, the ones that we own, they are all hybrid or gold OA. And as you can see, we've been working over the years to make the non-OA journals hybrid or gold OA. So in 2019, we had 80 journals that were non-OA. The following year, it was 50. This year is 30. So we are working to bring this number down. We're working with the societies to make the journals hybrid or gold OA. Okay, so read and publish at Cambridge. As you probably heard, there are lots of models. People call it different things: read and publish and read, transformative agreements. And what they have in common, of course, is they provide reading and also OA publishing. And most of our agreements is read and publish. That is what we call it. And it's for the institution to repurpose the existing spend with us in order to publish open access. And we think this is the most effective and affordable and sustainable way to achieve open research, open access. So for 2022 then, we will offer read and publish to all Portuguese institutions. So this means we're offering read access to collection plus open access publishing at no additional cost. And there are three options of collections. It's the full collection, HSS, so that's humanities and social sciences, and STM, so it's science, technology, and medicine. And there's an option, you can go for a 1-year agreement or a 3-year agreement. So with the read and publish agreement with Cambridge, that means that you can publish open access in both hybrid and gold journals. And it's important to mention that because some publishers will only offer open access publishing in hybrid journals, but with us, it's all journals that can accept open access. And if you take an HSS collection, then you can read the HSS titles, of course, and publish in the HSS collection. So the two go together. So it depends on which collection you've chosen. We give perpetual access to all journals in the collection. So if you take the full collection in 2022, then you will retain perpetual access to all titles in the 2022 collection. And while you have a collection or any subscription to a journal, you also have access to the shallow back files. And this for us varies for different journals, but in some cases that provides access back to 1997. The pricing structure with us, it's based on subscription value, so it's based on your existing spend plus an access fee to the collection. And the access fee is based on FTE bands. So if you're a small institution, the price is X. If you're a medium institution, the price is Y. So here you can see for this year, the collection, the full collection has got 404 titles, the HSS collection almost 300 titles, and the STM collection just over 160 titles. And of course, this changes year to year, and usually this grows. And as I mentioned earlier, the vast majority of our titles, over 300 of them, are hybrid journals. We have around 40 titles that are gold OA journals, and then we have 30 titles that are non-OA and that we're working to bring down further. So what are the benefits then with the read and publish agreement with Cambridge? Well, there's no additional cost for OA publishing. It gives increased visibility and discoverability of research from your institution. There's no extra work for authors to publish open access. There's no additional work the author has to do. The author just selects whether they want to publish open access or not. For the librarians, you can decide whether you want to approve or deny articles. If you don't want to do this, there's no additional work for you if you have a read and publish agreement with us. And there's only one fee, so only one invoice. We give you support throughout, before taking an agreement, during an agreement. We provide training. Juan and I have done workflow presentations for librarians in Spain. We can do that in groups, one by one. We give marketing support. We have a dedicated OA queries inbox and also a team to reply to any questions you may have or authors may have about publishing open access. And we provide quarterly reports on all articles published by your institution. So you can see what's been published open access and not. And here's some feedback that we've had from authors and librarians that have a read and publish agreement. And we have an institution from Greece here who's very happy with the read and publish model, saying it's a clear model and offers extra flexibility to authors. And the German librarian here who's very happy with the Cambridge workflow. And researchers, of course, wanting policy makers to read the work, which they can do through open access, and also reaching a wider audience, of course, through open access. So post-sales support. So if you take an agreement, a read and publish agreement with us, we create a dedicated page on our platform core We have all our read and publish agreements listed here. It provides an overview of the agreement you have with us. We drive OA submissions across our journals list. We do read and publish promotions through social channels, and we do email campaigns. And as I mentioned, we also offer training sessions. And we also have a page here on core talking about how to make the most of your read and publish agreement with us. And I think that's it. Thank you very much for listening. And here, of course, you got the details for Juan as well. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much, Anna, for your presentation. Wait a second, I'm going to start a video. Bom, a apresentação está finalizada por parte da Cambridge. Agora abrimos a rodada de perguntas. Como a Rocio disse, não podemos abrir os microfones para vocês perguntarem mesmo, mas podem usar o chat, tá certo? Por proteção de dados, nós não vamos revelar quem fez a pergunta, então a gente só vai ler a pergunta. Se puder ser em inglês, melhor, se não, não tem nenhum problema, eu faço a tradução do português ao inglês. Ok. Tenho algumas perguntinhas aqui. One question, well, the person said, we are a small institution with a very specific areas. Is it possible to have only a specific package instead of the full collection?
So we offer the full HSS and STM collections.
Okay.
I'm sure it's possible to look at maybe something smaller, but of course it makes it more complicated when you go down to the smaller collections, and also to know where you can publish open access or not. So this is why we try to keep it at the bigger collections.
I have another one. Does read and publish affect in any way the submitted papers review process?
No, it doesn't. There's no effect. And when the article goes through the peer review, the people who peer review does not know whether the author has selected open access or not. In fact, the selection for the author, whether they select open access or not, happens after the peer review.
Okay. Let me check if we have another one. About the APCs, is it true that I will have a specific number of APCs to publish?
So we are looking at that at the moment. If the question is whether it's going to be unlimited or not, if it relates to that, we are seeing whether we will get an agreement with Beyond or not for next year. So these are details that we're looking at the moment.
Okay, I have another one here. If you publish something in journals or books in Portuguese language?
Our content is all in English, I'm afraid.
Okay.
All English journals.
And I think that's what I have it now. Não sejam tímidos, perguntem, façam seus comentários, também pode ser. Não há nenhum problema. Podem fazer em português, eu traduzo para o inglês. Vamos ver. Okay.
Yes, I would like to say something a little bit more about the first question, because I think that our portfolio, it's, well, we are a press university, so we publish in all subjects, all range of subjects. So usually they fit in the universities and range of interests they have, or maybe if you are, or maybe they are talking about an institution, a polytechnic institute or something like that. So that's the reason, and we think that they fit into the full package, the STM package or the humanities and social science package. But well, we will have to analyze what institutions are we are talking about.
Sim, I will say in Portuguese, but just what I want to say, to close this session, I would say that this is just a brief of what is Read and Publish from Cambridge. You know, this is the first step, the first start. Of course, each institution is individual. So we can make presentations and we can explain for each kind of institution for what we need. So this is just a brief. This is just the first contact with you. Ok, então isso, falando em português, neste caso é só uma pequena pincelada do que é o acordo Read and Publish da Cambridge. Obviamente que não, como somos muitos, não dá para fazer uma apresentação tão detalhada. Esse é um primeiro contato que a gente queria fazer com vocês, e a partir daí nós podemos sempre, Juan, Ana, fazer uma apresentação específica de acordo com as necessidades de cada um de vocês, né? Então, não é uma apresentação definitiva. Nós vamos partilhar essa apresentação, além da gravação, eu vou enviar para todos os participantes, mas, claro, a ideia também é que seja esse um primeiro passo para quem estiver interessado. Como vocês viram, é um projeto muito interessante, é um projeto realmente que é de Open Access, né, de Read and Publish, realmente, e nós podemos fazer outras apresentações e explicar individualmente e também ver já uma parte mais de fator econômico para cada um de vocês. Isso já é individualizado e tem que ser assim, porque não tem como fazer uma apresentação comum a todos. Então é isso, eu não sei, eu não vejo nenhuma pergunta a mais por aqui, mas se forem surgindo dúvidas também, vocês podem perguntar, eu estou sempre aqui, vocês podem me enviar um e-mail ou me ligarem, e tenho essa dúvida, tenho essa pergunta. O Juan, que vocês já conhecem também, a maioria de vocês já conhecem, porque ele trabalha na Cambridge há quantos anos, Juan?
17
17 anos trabalhando na Cambridge, e também com o mercado português.
Yeah, last week it was my 17th anniversary.
Great.
Yeah.
Parabéns.
I hope so.
Enhorabuena. E é isso, olha, eu queria agradecer muito a participação de todos vocês. Foi excelente, acho que a apresentação foi muito boa, esclarecedora, e lógico, a ideia é um pouco trabalhar mais para frente com vocês de maneira individualizada e ver realmente o que vocês precisam. Ok? Estamos à disposição, Juan, a Ana e eu. E nada mais da minha parte. Ana, Juan, thank you very much for the presentation. We will share the recording with the assistants and the presentation also. And
something I would like to add as well, when you have mentioned that we will have, we invite to any institution to have individual meetings, that we are now analyzing and collecting all the data from each institutions, we base our calculations on the article output in the last 3 years. So we can base our proposal based on those data on the publication they have had in the last 3 years with us, with Cambridge. So, well, as you say, we are open to any individual meeting with any institution.
Correct. Thank you, Juan. Gracias.
Muito obrigada a todos por atender essa apresentação. Eu gostaria só de dizer que eu vou enviar o eu vou enviar um e-mail com o certificado de participação e também com o link para vocês poderem fazer o download da apresentação e o link à gravação. Será, eu acho que quinta-feira ou sexta-feira estarei enviando esse e-mail. Obrigada a todos, obrigada Lígia, thank you Juan,
Obrigada.
thank you Ana, have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.
Obrigado.
Thank you. Bye,
Bye.
obrigada.
Bye.
Bye.
Bom feriado para quem tiver feriado de São João. Um abraço.